Buongiorno everyone and welcome back to Lineup Predictions. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Crystal Palace, the opponents tomorrow at home, St James's, 8:15 PM kickoff, live on BT Sports. 13th versus 15th, Crystal Palace only 2 league places ahead of us at the minute. Things may change, and only 4 points difference. Palace haven't really had the best of seasons. It's dinosaur v dinosaur in it. Brucey versus Y. Who's the worst? Who's the oldest? Who's the shittest manager? They have, like I said, they haven't really had the best of seasons lately. Saturday they got a win, a great win against a declining Wolves team, won 1-0, which ended a streak of 1 win in 10 games. They also haven't scored an away goal in 4 games. So they come to St James's with a lot to prove, especially after we beat them 2-0 at their place back at the end of November. And we're coming off a brilliant away win against Everton. Gateshead Graham's Mags taking us to the top. Before we get into the team news, I just mentioned the like target for the Everton game. I didn't set one as I didn't know how long the video would be out to surface to gain momentum, but I did say if we can get over 200 up to 300, that would be great. We've got 243 without setting a target, so thank you very much to everyone for liking that video. The previous target that I set was the Leeds lineup prediction, where I set 225 and we got over 350. Thank you very, very much to everyone who likes and supports the channel. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you very much. This target I will set just a little bit over what we got in the Everton one. Let's say without a target, we got 243. So I will set 250. Let's get over 250 likes and 10,000 subscribers. Into the team news then, and it's not good news on our captain Jamal Lascelles, who went off in the Everton game with a hamstring injury. Brucey confirms he will be out for a few weeks. He was replaced by Kieran Clark, who I didn't even think would have made the squad, to be fair. I thought maybe bench at best. I didn't really expect him to come on after he'd only been back in training a day or two prior to that game, but he got through that game alright. It was the second half. I can't remember what minute he came on. But yeah, Clark got a run out. And Bruce confirms that Clark and Paul Dummett are both now available for selection. They both came back at the same time. They both only had a day or two training before the Everton game. I don't think Dummett wasn't even on the bench. Clark made it and obviously got a few minutes run out. Still no Federico Fernandez. He's still going to be out for another couple of weeks. There's a big doubt about Ryan Fraser, who's been ill over the weekend. Not COVID related, but he's suffering with an illness, so he's a doubt going into the game. Alan Saint-Maximin. Bruce says he's made 3 sub-appearances since coming back, so we think he could be ready to start. Brilliant news. I called for it in my last lineup prediction, but it was obviously dependent on his fitness. How ready is he to go back into the starting lineup? We weren't sure about that. I was just being optimistic. It probably was the right thing not to start him. Fraser got the start. He came on in the second half at a good time as well. I think we needed his injection of pace and energy. Like, it was a bit of a lackluster game. I think Everton were there for the taking, and by the time he came on, changed the game. He didn't really get into it that much. He obviously had the moment of magic where he got the Maradona turn in, and in the build-up to the second goal for Wilson's second goal, Hayden cleared a cross that came in, and it was heading out for a throw-in in the 93rd minute. He didn't need to keep it in, but he sprinted from the middle of the park in the 93rd minute to keep the ball in. Looked for that long ball up to Jamal Lewis. It was a great ball. Lewis got the ball into Wilson. 2-0. That could have been a 1-0 if you just let that go out. It's fine. 3 points is great, but 2-0's way better than 1-0 in it. So yeah, well done to Saint-Maximin. Hopefully he is fit. I would love to see him start. Hopefully he can stay fit. Hopefully he can last 90 minutes. Like I say, Fraser's a doubt. I did think the rotation of them would have been a good sub to make, which Brucey did, or Gateshead Graham did, one of you. Well done to whoever it was. But yeah, no Fraser on the bench, so we still need to be very careful with Saint-Maximin if we start him. Can he last 90 minutes? Is there someone else to replace him if not? And happy deadline day to you all. The news, there's been a lot of news, a lot of rumours. I'm not going to go into every little detail, but what Brucey mentioned in the press conference was DeAndre Yedlin. He's obviously away to Galatasaray. Good luck to DeAndre Yedlin. He has been a great servant of the club over the last few years. Unfortunately, his time's up now. He just broke back into the team as well. Like, if he left in the summer, I would have been over the moon because he didn't deserve to remain. But he broke into the team about Christmas time and he went on a run of a few great games, the Liverpool game included. Probably the best we've ever seen him in the Liverpool game over the last few years. That was fantastic. But Bruce says we've got 3 right backs at the club now, and Yedlin's better as a winger. And it's quite clear that we're trying to play with a back 4. That's great to hear from Brucey because, is it? We played that against Everton, which was a bit of a surprise. The gloves off, the gloves on. Like, he's been playing 5 at the back where we do need wing backs, and there is a few that actually are better as wing backs than full backs. Yedlin included, Murphy, Lewis, Ritchie, whoever plays as a wing back. We've probably got better wing backs than full backs. Despite playing in the flat back 4, Jamal Lewis had an amazing game the other day. Potential man of the match, but so did Manquillo. Manquillo's a much better full back than he is a wing back. Probably you can say the same about Emil Kraft. So if we are going with this way forward, then fair play. But yeah, good luck to DeAndre Yedlin. And Matt Ritchie, as I just mentioned, during the press conference, he said it's up in the air. There's talks about going back to Bournemouth. There's been communication there, but it was a bit of like a 50-50, I'd say, up in the air. If he stays, he needs to put his head down and knuckle down. If he goes, then fair play to him. But since then, just before I started recording, Sky Sports breaking news say that Newcastle have rejected a bid and he will be staying, which I think is good news. Well, in a sense, depends on how you look at it. I say it's good news in the sense that we need left back / left wing back cover. We've been after a few. We've ruled out Brandon Williams and Jetro Willems. So without a left back, I think we need Matt Ritchie. Like, he's the only one there other than Paul Dummett. But if you watch the channel, you know I'm not Dummett's biggest fan as a full back. So if we're not going to bring anyone in, then Ritchie has to stay. We'll try again in the summer. If he goes in the summer and we can bring in a Willems or someone else, then great. But yeah, as Brucey says, he needs to get his head down, just knuckle on and just carry on. We've got only a few months left of the season, so what it is. But Ritchie is staying, and Hamza Chowdhury, he used the same phrase, we've got a few things bubbling away. He says that every window, doesn't he? So yeah, Hamza Chowdhury is one of the ones bubbling away, but there's also a couple of other things bubbling away in the world of Brucey. Before we get into the Newcastle lineup, there is a bit of team news coming out of Crystal Palace, where they've got quite a few players injured. Centre-backs Mamadou Sakho and James Tompkins are out. Jeffrey Schlupp is quite an important player for them, quite a versatile player. He is out. Backup goalkeeper Wayne Hennessy, ex-Mackham Connor Wickham and Nathan Ferguson are all out for Crystal Palace, so that's pretty much good news for us. Our lineup there then, and in goal, Carl Darlow will keep his place for another week. He got a clean sheet. Fair play to Carl Darlow for the clean sheet. The first 10 minutes were mega ropey. Made pretty much 3 mistakes. Uncomfortable with his collection. Yeah, I think he looks bothered. I think he knows Dubravka's hot on his heels. There's talks circulating in the Twitter sphere, the NUFC Twitter sphere, that, yeah, I think fans want Dubravka back. I've seen so many tweets, messages. Bring back Dubravka, bring back Dubravka. I don't think Darlow deserves drops, but I've mentioned in the last couple of videos, it's copy and paste. He needs to keep performing. Like I say, he got a clean sheet, that's all you can really ask for. Against Everton, a great Everton team with the likes of James Rodriguez and Calvert-Lewin. Fantastic attack and talent in their team. And we kept a clean sheet. Credit to the defence, credit to Darlow. We got that done. So, yeah, Darlow just needs to keep chugging away. No more silly mistakes. I think he got away with it a little bit in the first 10 minutes against Everton, but yeah, now we'll keep going with Darlow for now, but we'll see how it develops over the weeks. Into the defence then, and it gives me great pleasure to announce a flat back 4. As Brucey says, with the departure of Yedlin, it's clear we're trying to play with a back 4, and we did that against Everton brilliantly. I did say in my lineup prediction, it's maybe sensible, like I say, with the likes of James Rodriguez, Calvert-Lewin, the attacking talent that they have, Sigurdsson, Iwobi, it was probably wise to go defensively, play with a back 5, because if they opened up, if they countered, then they could absolutely royally fuck us. But they didn't. The defence was brilliant, And at right back, Javier Manquillo, I thought he had a great game. If we are going forward with this flat back four, then it certainly is Javier Manquillo that needs to start. He's the best fullback we have. The only other option is Emil Kraft. And with Yedlin away, Murphy only really capable of playing as a wing back. Javier Manquillo is without doubt the best option going forward as a right back. The centre backs then, Fabian Schär. He was brilliant against Everton. We'll see moments of Fabian Schär, the good and the bad. You don't know which one you're going to get, especially in the last 12 to 18 months. He's had some very inconsistent, very poor games, very frustrating games. But the last couple were great. Leeds, I thought he was good. In the Everton game, he was absolutely superb. But to partner him will be Kieran Clark. Obviously, that was the pair, and at the end of the game, it started with Jamal Lascelles, but with him being out for a few weeks, no one else really to play there. Obviously, Lejeune out on loan, Dummett just coming back from injury. In a flat back four, with Fernandez being out as well, Clark certainly is the best option to go in there alongside Fabian Schär. And at left back, Jamal Lewis, another contender for man of the match the other day. He was absolutely outstanding. Brucey praised him in his press conference. He's a young lad. He knew it was going to take time for him to settle in. Maybe he's getting there now. Maybe the back four isn't best for him. He was fantastic against Everton, don't get us wrong, but I think he probably is better as a wing back. That's been the criticisms of him since he signed. Defensively, he's shocking. Getting forward, he's brilliant. So yeah, wing back probably suits him better, but after one game, I think, you know what it is, his two best games have been as a full-back. The opening game of the season against West Ham, the Everton game, they were back four games, and Lewis, they definitely are his best two performances. So maybe I'm chatting shit. Maybe this formation, we are seeing the best out of him. Maybe the pressure of him getting forward as a wing-back meant he was a little bit lackluster at the back. He was very slow in getting back. Positioning has been his biggest issue. Maybe as a wing-back, he feels a bit more inclined to get forward and neglecting his defensive duties. So, yeah, maybe this could be the best way forward for him. I hope so, but yeah, we'll see how things go, as we're not signing anyone, clearly. In central midfield, we'll be playing the three centre mids as we did against Everton, and I'll cut the bullshit. The same three. They can all go in there. Jonjo Shelvey, Isaac Hayden, and even Jeff Hendrick. We'll start with Isaac Hayden. It's been absolutely brilliant to see him further forward. Like, as he's been covering as a centre-back, I've had absolutely no issues. He's a brilliant centre-back, but absolute rock in the middle of the field. Dwayne Johnson, he's fantastic. He did what he did. He did what he does. That's why we need him at centre mid. Rock, tackles, breaking up play, absolutely fantastic. Jonjo Shelvey, I wouldn't say it was his best game in the middle of the park, but particularly on the corners, similar to the Leeds game, didn't really do a lot, but his set pieces have been massively improving. As the game before was at Villa, his corners, like, we were foaming during the watch along because he couldn't beat the first man. He wasn't getting any of these balls past the first post. Shocking set pieces, but the last two games, I don't know if he's been watching the watch along, been listening to the criticism, but they've been superb. That corner for Wilson's first goal, absolutely out of this world. He had another one for the Wilson in the first half as well. Yeah, massive improvements from Jonjo Shelvey. He could do a little bit more in the middle of the park in terms of getting the ball, looking up, seeking a pass. He did that in bits. I'm not criticising him. I'm trying not to be negative towards him, but we know he's got more in the locker. That's it. We just want to see more. We know he's got more, so we just want to see that. Like I've said many a time on this channel, on his day, Jonjo Shelvey could be one of the best centre mids in the Premier League. We just rarely see that. Maybe he's once in every 3 months. I think his performances are improving, but I know he's got more in the locker, and I just want to see him open that up a little bit more. And Jeff Hendrick as well. The last couple of games, he's been okay. The Leeds game, not superb, okay. But the Everton game, I thought he had a really good game. I think I don't know if it is the Gateshead Graham influence, but he's been picking his head up. He's been looking for a forward pass. We know he does his little Spinneroonie Booker T thing in the middle of the park where he just turns and ends up going backwards. That's all we really see from Jeff Hendrick, but he was doing that against Everton, doing his little Spinneroonies, but then going forward. That's what we want to see. Forward passing. That's why I'm happy Sean Longstaff hasn't been in the team. There's been links with him the last few days. A loan move to Valencia was rejected apparently, with a potential 15 million buyout at the end of it. That's something to look forward to for the end of the day, but I say unlikely. Apparently Longstaff doesn't want to leave. Credit to him. Fight for your place, mate. But the performances lately have been poor. He's down in the pecking order now. If Hendrick can pick up performances, Hayden playing back in centre mid, and Matty Longstaff on the bench, Sean's way down in the pecking order. So, yeah, keep up momentum. I always say, don't change a winning team. Don't change a winning mentality. We've had a few fluky wins in the past. Like, I'll go back to the Crystal Palace game at the end of November. Any 2-0 away win in the Premier League's a great result in a tough league. But you also want to see a performance. The performance was there in the 2-0 against Everton, in the 2-0 against West Ham, but the 2-0 away to Crystal Palace. The 90 minutes was shocking. We won with a great 90 seconds. Joe Linton turned into the £40 million player that was signed. A goal and an assist in 90 seconds. Won the game. I think it was a 87th and 88th minute goal that won the game. The rest of the game was fucking shit. Like, we're going to be happy with the result, but we want to see a performance, and that's what we've got against Everton. Further up the field, and I don't really know how to play this because I'm not really sure how we played it on Saturday, but it worked. We had Callum Wilson playing as like a right-sided forward with Miggy Almiron as like a false 9. And for Almiron, I think that worked quite well, and I actually thought Wilson was fantastic on the right-hand side as well. It was just, when we were on that side, I just had no confidence in the balls going into the box because Almiron's about 5'6" and Fraser's about 4'2". Like, if Wilson was doing well on the right-hand side, linking up with Manquillo, I thought that link-up was great, but just when the balls get into the box, who's there? Nobody really. So, as well as Wilson done, I don't want to see him on the right. I'd rather see Miggy, which is very contrasting because he was great. That's where he deserves to be. Maybe not as a forward, like more as like a number 10, like that false 9 role. That's where Almiron's best, but he needs a partner. He needs an actual striker. He needs to be behind a striker in Wilson. But if he can't play that in this formation, he should be on the right-hand side. His performances over the last few weeks, the last 4 or 5 games have been brilliant. Got his goal against Leeds. So he deserves to stay in the team. I'm not his biggest fan as a winger, but he does need to stay in the team. This momentum, keep it going. Hopefully he can cut inside. Maybe him and Wilson can alternate a little bit. Like, I don't know. This formation, I'm not set on it, but it obviously works wonders. So it is what it is. So yeah, Almiron on the right. So Maximin can come in on the left in place of Fraser. I think that's going to be the biggest change, really. If Sir Maximin can start, play the majority of the game, maybe not the full 90 minutes. I'm not sure how fit he is to do that, but yeah, as long as he can come in, be a game changer. I think he played more as a false 9 when he came on, to be fair, as well. With once Fraser went off, Sir Maximin was a bit more in the middle. But yeah, like, whatever it is, it worked. If they want to alternate the front 3, Almiron, Sir Maximin, and obviously Callum Wilson up top, the absolute game changer, key player for us this season. Without his goals, we would be fucked. If you take away his 10 goals, we would definitely be in the bottom 3. So, whichever way around it is, whoever's right, whoever's left, whoever's down the middle, I don't really care. I just want to see more of what we did against Everton. If like I say, if they alternate, if Sir Maximin's a false 9, Almiron's a false 9, Wilson on the right, let it be. Let it be. We'll have a run through the bench then, see who's available. We've got Martin Dubravka, Emil Kraft, Paul Dummett can come back for a spot on the bench. I'm not really sure about Matt Ritchie. He was obviously excluded the other day with links of him going away, which is probably sensible. Now we know he's due to stay. Will he be brought back onto the bench? Maybe. Maybe his head's still a little bit in the clouds, so give him another day off and wait for the weekend. Just get him back into training, get him back into the team, the morale, the mentality. Jacob Murphy, he was excluded the other day. I'm not really sure why. There was no message in Bruce's press conference on Jacob Murphy. I don't know if he's another one due to go out. Like I say, there's been no mention, so I'm not really sure. Don't know if there's any injuries, transfer rumours, whatever it is. But if he can come back in the absence of Ryan Fraser, then fantastic. Elliot Anderson was an unused sub the other day. If there's no Fraser and no Ritchie, then he can keep his spot on the bench. With Joe Linton, the Crystal Palace slayer from November, he's got a spot on the bench with Dwight Gale and Andy Carroll. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to put your lineup prediction in the comments below, along with a score prediction. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Newcastle. I think we need to keep this momentum going. As I say, we beat them on their turf back in November at home after a great result. Keep the momentum going, keep the formation going. I think we can most definitely get a win. Wise Crystal Palace, absolute fucking dinosaur football. Similar to us, really. With the exception of Gateshead Graham, that's the advantage we take into this game. So yeah, make sure to like this video. Let's get 250 likes and 10,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching, everyone, and enjoy yourself.